Welcome to day 3 of our Aquarian Shift meditations. Our cold front has come in Texas, and so I'm bundled up and ready to be at ease and at peace with you today. Today is day 3 so far in our meditations. In day 1, we focused on being the ocean. I'm going to say that poem again because, like I said, I'm obsessed with it. I love it. The Rumi poem that says, "These forms we seem to be are just cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness." What we are is, we think we are the cups, but what we are is the ocean. Too near to see, though we swim in it and drink it in. Don't be the cup with the dry rim. Allow your cup to sink into the ocean and bring your focus and attention to the living consciousness, the ocean of living consciousness within you and outside of you that flows through you and with you and in you. Then on day 2, we focused on being the portal through which the living consciousness flows into being, because we are that as well. And we focused on that heart center being that portal through which living consciousness flows. Today, as I said yesterday at the end, that we were going to go into the manifestation, right? We'll have several days of bringing the new information that is coming in through this portal of the Aquarian gateway. As yesterday, when we were focused on the portal, we were like the satellite dish, right? The cup with this central portal of the heart center facing directly into that opening and receiving, like a satellite dish, receiving that information, that download from the Aquarian gateway of whatever is coming in and coming through. Today, we're going to spend some time focusing on that point where the two meet. Before we can be a clear channel of manifestation, we need to let go of all of our attachments to the worldly influences. Our world that we are accustomed to living in is a world of conditions where, it's the there's more love and more appreciation. There's more success. There's more, in the terms that we define it in through the world that we live in right now, that it's given to people with more money, with people of certain talent and certain background and certain skin color and certain, economic privilege and the smarter or, as defined by our school education systems. So we have a lot of constructs in place to define whether someone is successful, whether they're valuable, whether they're, like all of whether they're worthy. And in the world of unconditional love, unconditional means no conditions. It all gets to go away. So before we can bring in a clear manifestation of this new energy, this channeling of this new energy, we're going to hang out in that focal point between the worlds. There's that poem about, getting up in that time of the morning. There's a time of the morning before dawn. Like it's, between 2 and 4 a.m. I like to get up around 4 a.m. and do meditation. And it's the time where the veils between the world are thinnest and when it's quietest. So if you get up at that time and do your meditation and really set your intention to connect with Source and let Source just like download for you and template you and wash you and cleanse you and bring through revelations or inspirations or whatever. It's a beautiful time to sit in this place like what we're going to sit in today. And there's a Rumi poem that says, "The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are moving back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. So we're going to sit at that door sill today where those two worlds touch. And we're going to hang out there, and we're going to be on that teeter spot between the world of unconditional, of unity, of oneness, and this world of multiplicity and conditions. We're going to hang out right there and let this love flow in and out of the heart space and wash away all of our attachments, as much as we can let go of in this moment, of our attachments to the conditional, so that all is left is love. And there's a quote from Fauzia Al-Rawi, who is daughter-in-law of my teacher. She has a book called Divine Names, 99 Names of the One Love, 99 Healing Names of the One Love. Yes, 99 Healing Names of the One Love. And she quotes, ultimately, it is only through love that we are taken to the unity of being. Ultimately, it is only through love that we are taken into the unity of being. So let's come into our circle. Imagine us all coming into a circle, sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one, and bringing all of our focus and attention into the center of our circle. I just think if you, like, anything in your mind is saying, wow, she's really dressed funny to be leading a meditation. Shouldn't she be wearing flowing scarves and all the beautiful things and have, fairy dust floating around? So here's an opportunity to let go of those conditions and perceptions that we carry. It's an example of the imprinting. But she is warm. So let's come into our circle, bringing all of our focus and attention to the center of our circle. All of our senses, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our throats, our heart centers, our bellies, everything to the center of our circle. And together we call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your pure divine light. Just imagine, feel this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle, filling the space, cleansing and purifying the space. And let's call also on Ar-Rahman and Rahim, the divine attributes that we've been working with over the last 2 days. The Rahman, which is the ocean of compassion that we swim in, the ocean that we swim in and drink in like sponges into our bodies. And our Rahim, which is the compassion that flows through the portal of each individuation of an individual element of creation, right? There is the ocean of compassion that we swim in, and there is the compassion, the creative life force energy that flows through every being and every element of creation. Not just the human beings, not just the animal beings, not just the plant beings, but every element of creation. So we call on Rahman, the ocean of compassion, and Rahim, the stream of compassion that flows through the portals. And let's call on the unconditional love as well, Al-Wadud, to fill this space. To fill this space. And I want to invite you in this moment to just, you can put your hands over your heart center if you like, and focus on your breath, like move your breath in and out through your heart center, breathing in this light, this love, this compassion, breathing it in and out through your heart center. And bring your focus, your attention to that space in your heart, right there in the center like where the flesh meets the subtle energy of the heart chakra. So in your subtle center, right here at the center of your chest, your heart center, you can feel if you have a subtle energy center right here in the center of your palm also. And so if you place that center of your palm right over that heart center of your heart chakra, your subtle energy center of your heart, you can feel that connection there, and let yourself breathe in that light and that love and that compassion. Breathe it in through that center and feel that energy flow through your heart center, bringing your attention to that flow in and out through the heart center, and just feel where that subtle energy flows through the flesh of the body. And we're going to hang out in this space where the two meet. So let's be with that breath and make your intention to be breathing in that divine light, the unconditional love, and the compassion. Breathing in and bringing that focal point right to that door sill, and place your consciousness, like intend to drop your consciousness right onto that door sill, and let yourself witness the flowing in and out from the door sill. The flowing of the energy as it moves, as the unconditional love and divine light move between the world of the physical and the world of the subtle, the spiritual. And breathe in and out. And just witness and invite your mind to be like the child who is having a first time ever experience. I know for most of you, it's not your first time ever experience, but invite your mind to be like the child, because this moment is different from the last time you may have experienced this. This is a new moment. So invite your mind to be like the child and witness this from the perspective of the first ever experience. Breathing in and out from this place, and let, as this love flows through that doorway, just let it wash away your attachments to the world of conditions and all of the conditional that we put on love in this world of conditions. As the love flows back and forth, let it wash the conditional away from the love. Washing the conditional away from the love. And I want to bring in some sound codes and a divine name. The divine name that I want to bring for this is Mutakabir. 4 syllables on this one. Mutakabir. This divine name means traditionally the greatest, but it's also a focus and a concentration, because it does define it is the name of this focal point between the worlds. And it's, if we break it into the sound codes and look at the sound codes, I put them in the chat and some have come on since then, so I'm going to put it again. The we've been working with the sound, which is the fluid existence. The mu is the embodiment of the fluid existence. Mu is embodiment of the fluid existence. So we're talking about as this creation comes into fluidity, into its fluid existence, the mu brings that fluid existence into embodiment. So we'll play with the mu sound and the ta. The next syllable is the ta, mu ta. The ta is the mystery of the divine essence within the fluid existence. And the kab, K-A-B, is the transliteration. Kab is the k, is that, you know, from the h to the k. You know, there's all these different ways to pronounce that sound. And it's like the more frontal that it gets, the more it comes the hidden into the manifestation. So it's that creative power of manifestation that, and so it's mud, ka, ka, and the b is that focal point. Even the letter of the ba in the Arabic, it's like it looks kind of like a cup with a focal point right in the middle of it. It's that dot of the focal point is that portal through which creation flows. So that's bringing that hidden into manifest through that focal point. And the beer, that's bringing from that focal point into light, from that central focus into light. So you see how this name, Mutakabir, is that embodying the fluid existence, the mystery of the fluid existence, and bringing that hidden into that central focal point, that portal where it is brought to light. And the, you know, so this is that teeter point. And what is so significant about this divine name? What is it's like this name represents the greatness in all things and all forms equally, right? Again, taking out that conditional. When we sit with this name and embody this name, it protects us from arrogance and pride, and that those things which separate us and make us better or higher than, less than, greater than, lower than anything else. It releases from us the longing for materialism and the worldly desires. And it's that strength of concentration and focus to follow through and not get distracted by the worldly things and our desires of the material realm. And it also, it's like I said, the meaning, the traditional meaning of this word is the greatest. And it reminds us that no matter what conditions we put, or whether we compare ourselves, or, you know, we fall into the arrogance or pride, there is only one and only one, our source, the one and only one unified source, the unity of being, is the greatest of all, right? So not to put ourselves higher or lower or in separation in any way. So again, focusing on that central point, the central point, and this will help to clear us for that clear manifestation to come through over the next 4 or 5 days that we're going to be working with that. So play with the sounds, the moo, And again, bringing that into your body. Being the focus, the embodiment of the fluid existence of creation. Right? As creation comes into form, it first comes into a fluid existence before it is brought into form. So that fluid existence coming embodied, bringing that in as you sound that, and let those sound codes resonate through your fluid body. Let it ripple through the ocean within your cup and all the way through your cup to be one with the ocean that your cup is floating in. Remember, don't be the cup with a dry rim. Let your cup sink into the ocean. Let your ocean within you be one with the ocean that you are floating in, and embodying that fluid existence into this central portal, the central point, and then the bringing through the mystery, bringing through the mystery. Again, focus your sound directly into the center point, the place in the heart center. And as you breathe in and out and bring these sounds in and out, just let your heart center soften. Hub, beer. And the hub is bringing that from the hidden, that creative life force from the hidden into a central focal point. And beer bringing it from the focal point into light. Hub, beer. And elongate it, stretch it out, and let the sound resonate right through that center point, central focus, focal point, that portal through which the living consciousness flows into your being and into the manifestation through your being. Beer. 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 And let it resonate, let it really vibrate in that space beneath your hands. Bringing your attention again to that place where the subtle meets the physical, where the energy body meets the physical body, and hanging out there. Hanging out there. It reminds me of another Rumi poem that says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about ideas and language. Even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So again, hanging out right there in that space where the subtle energy, the energy body meets the physical on that door sill, breathing in. And bring the vibration of those sacred sound codes. Bring the vibration of those sacred sound codes into that space and let them vibrate, let them resonate right there at that portal and wash away the conditions that we associate with love, and the attachments to the worldly material desires that cannot cross that threshold with us into that world of unconditional love. And those sound codes TA, hub, beer, and bring that into that space right at that dot, that point where creation comes through the portal and into being, hanging out at that doorway, right at that dot. Hum, beer. That's the embodiment of the fluid existence, containing the mystery, the creative power, bringing it into that focal point, and from that focal point coming into light. It's the meaning of the sound codes of this name, which traditionally means that which is the greatest. The greatest. Hum, beer. Hum, beer. And it says right here in this name, I'll invite you, as some of you know that do the continuum movement and also the Sufi recitations. Typically, they can go on for hours. A typical continuum movement class where you embody these sounds. I bring the two together, the recitations and the continuum movement, which is an embodiment healing kind of modality. These classes typically can go for the continuum 2 hours, the Sufi class is an hour or a whole night, doesn't matter. But so I encourage you to come back and spend longer time with this, to really let this wash, really let the conditional wash away from the flow of love. As we move into this era of peace and unconditional love, where there is no better than, no worse than, there's no space for pride or arrogance, there's no space for debasement, self-debasement either. There's just one and only one, and that one and only one, the solo God consciousness, is the greatest, right? Not to put ourselves above or below or separate from. This oneness is the greatest. And al-mutakabbir means that whatever we experience, the one unified solo life source of all Allah in the Arabic name, is greater. Al-Mutakabbir opens us to this experience in time and space, taking us from one dimension to another. So this is that name, that divine name, the sequence of sound codes that can take us from one dimension to the other, right? So play with this, if you will, over the next 24 hours. This name also helps us let go of and relinquish our own borders, so that we may discover that God exists both within and beyond these borders. It helps us break through the limitations of pettiness and narrow-mindedness, in which we can sometimes become entangled or even drown. So use this name to let go of the attachments, to let go of the mental constructs of worthy, not worthy, success, not success, higher, lower, better, worse, and be with the love. Like, really let the love the love touch your heart and open your heart to love. Allow your heart to just fall in love with love itself, the feeling of love. And let this carry you between the dimensions. Take you from the time and space dimension to the dimension beyond the time and space, letting go of those borders. So you let this flow. Mutakabir. And there's a story. I'll leave you with this. There is a story in the Sufi teachings about Qais and Layla. Qais falls in love with Layla. And the name of Layla is really the feminine essence of the divine. So Qais falls in love with Layla, and he courts Layla, and he's so in love with Layla, and that he just, yearns for Layla and adores Layla and wants Layla, yearns for Layla. And when Layla finally comes in form to him, he says, no, go away. I love the feeling of the love and the yearning for the love. I don't want to be distracted by the form. I don't want to be distracted by that which I love. I want to be in the love. So this is that place we get to hang out in. I invite you to hang out in. And so we'll leave it with that today and invite you to hang out there. I thank you very much. I will see you again tomorrow. Much love.